Goldberg?
No, totally
No?
unrelated. So Rube
Oh,
Goldberg is where you add a bunch of very fun, interesting other extra crap to do something at the end. So like you'll drop a, I don't know why you missed it. You drop a marble, it lands on a lever. The lever kicks up a little Lego guy. The Lego guy falls in a hat. The hat falls over. It knocks over a domino. The domino knocks over a balloon. The balloon raises up and then pops, and then something falls out of the balloon. And you just keep going over like a million abstractions.
as long as you can keep building new bridges before
Right.
the ball gets to the end, I mean,
Yeah. So look, I am not saying that DeFi is without merit. I am not saying that DeFi is without value. I believe that we should make a peer-to-peer trusted middleman reduction system for all parts of finance. Bitcoin addressed currency, HEX addresses the time deposit, DeFi could address lending. That's all very good and very awesome. I know that building things is very hard, and I know the limits of blockchains. And the only thing a blockchain is useful for is censorship resistance, and the only way that it acquires censorship resistance is through decentralization. And decentralization only works if the people that are being decentralized are honest actors or punished if they collude or can't all be influenced by the same third thing, right? So if you're decentralized, so let's say there was an address that was used to actually attack Americans. You would find that address would be punished. Exchanges wouldn't interact with it. Miners wouldn't let it transact, and it would be censored because everyone wants to see it censored because that's a good and better thing for the world. And in that case, the decentralization, it would still exist, but because all the parties that were decentralized still agreed to the same thing. I mean, that's what a hard fork is. When Bitcoin implemented a soft fork to turn on SegWit, that was a decentralized system coming to consensus and agreeing to do a new thing. And they could do that to stop the halvening from happening. They could do that to increase the supply. So all of these Bitcoin networks are not mathematically enforced. Blockchains are not mathematically enforced. They're socially enforced, period. And if the society that runs their software decides to play by a different rule set, then that rule set will become fact. There isn't actually 21 million limit on Bitcoin. There's only 21 million limit there as long as people decide to leave it there. There isn't actually a cutting in half of the reward every 4 years.
I phrase that a little differently with the 21 million because I don't think it's that people have to decide to leave it there.
They
It
do.
stays there unless everybody decides to upgrade the software.
Right, sure. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's a lot easier to get people to sit and do nothing.
but people
than it is to
people
get everyone
agree,
to an upgrade
but
that-
people have to upgrade all the time for other security vulnerability updates anyway.
So if they did upgrade, and this is what I've said too about Ethereum's monetary policy now is a lot more clear. But even back when it wasn't, it was like, well, they're not gonna.
Here's the funny thing, right?
They print a bunch of coins for me. I mean, that's not, and then it wouldn't get passed anyway.
If you want to get rich, none of this shit matters anyway. If you want to get rich, what matters is are more people going to buy or sell in the time horizon that I care about. All this technical stuff doesn't actually fucking matter. Really.
Right, but DeFi does matter because with Ethereum, you've got the issuance rate is what it is, but if more and more totens are being locked up, I mean, it's the same. That's just your theory with HEX.
but
I mean, it's the same thing. If more
it's
people
different.
lock
It's
up,
different. It's different. It's totally different. Here's why it's different.
But supply and demand.
It seems the
locking
same, but it's
supply.
100% not the same. Okay? Here's why. If you have a token system where people weren't going to use their fucking coins anyway, then they were actually already locked up anyway. They just didn't declare it. Okay? So in the vast majority of crypto tokens, there is a virtual lockup because no one uses their goddamn coins anyway, which is why like 4 million Bitcoin are said to be fucking lost because they've never moved. They just never fucking move. So you wouldn't be able to detect the difference between holding and losing the fucking keys, right? In a system,
nobody's using it.
No one uses it.
2017.
No one uses it. Nobody uses this shit. Did you use crypto today, dude? Did you use it? I didn't. Actually, I might have.
Okay, so for example, one thing is earning interest, which I'm working on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I earn interest. It's like, so that's using it. I deposited, earn interest. Then the next then to come back with, well, what is the person who's paying the interest? What are they doing? It's something stupid. They're not really using it. Okay, well, they're doing some. well, they're investing, and maybe they're just pumping and dumping or something stupid, you could say. But the thing is,
I am unaware of any reason to borrow a token other than short it. I don't know of any other reason why anyone would ever borrow cryptocurrency.
People are trading. Well, people say there's no use, and then it's like, well, there's trading. Well, that's not a use. I don't know. There's a lot of trading going on.
No, trading is a use. Trading is a use, but it's not a good use for the world. It's a net negative use. Las Vegas is...
It doesn't mean nothing's coming. There's Gods Unchained is coming out. I don't know. People are using it even in the beta release here.
Right.
You think that's...
So I think people will be better served by doing two things. One, what matters is how many people are going to buy after your ass. That's what matters. And is the rate at which new people are buying exceed the rate at which people will be able to sell or desire to sell?
You don't think
that causes price to go up?
The Augur upgrade? What do you think?
No. Look, I met the founder. He's a nice guy. The project's a great idea, but they just can't get users to use it. And
but they're upgrading the whole system. The whole thing's upgrading first quarter 2020.
Does it still run on a blockchain?
Yes. There's all kinds of systems for making it fast in second layer, and it's based on AI instead of Ethereum, and there's a number of upgrades. Hey, it might not work. I'm asking.
No, but like you're just solving the wrong problem. So
you know what? You're calling me negative, but you're negative.
No, most shit sucks. Most shit sucks, and for the shit that doesn't suck, you just have to know what the caveats are, right?
Well, what do you think doesn't suck?
I think Monero doesn't suck. I think Bitcoin doesn't suck. I think Ethereum doesn't suck. I think Dogecoin doesn't suck. I think any coin that holds its value.
Dogecoin.
Yeah, it's just another coin. Like, people aren't getting hacked. It fucking works. Who cares? Like, a lot of these things work, right? A lot of these things are still overpriced. That's all fine. Like, you just have to know what your trade-offs are, right? EOS isn't a real blockchain, doesn't have censorship resistance, but it's faster. That's fine. If you want to make that trade-off and have less censorship resistance but have faster, I'm fine with that, as long as you declare it as true. If you want to have some type of, this is balanced by that and I get 1 or 2%, I think you're fucking psychotic for risking anything in crypto for 7% a year. I think that's a terrible dog shit return that you could exceed by just lending your coins on a normal exchange and have someone that you could sue if it went wrong.
Dollars, just US dollars. Instead of holding it in Bank of America for 0%, hold some of it in compound.
Right, with the caveat that the contract had a bug and now it goes to 0 and you lose everything. 7%. Right, why don't you just put it in Berkshire Hathaway and make 10%?
I don't think I'm not that worried about the contract.
David, listen to me. Why don't you just put your money in Berkshire Hathaway and make 10%? It's up 10% over the last year.
But that's not dollar pegged, and I can't do that with my business. I have a business that runs. We have to hold cash in case something goes wrong. And nothing ever goes wrong. I've been holding too much cash for 20 years. And so maybe earn a little, not taking all of it and sticking it on there, but earning some interest. I don't know. Why not?
Do you know what most companies use for that problem? A CD.
What's that?
Most companies use a money market fund or a CD to do that, but I'm sure you know that.
What kind of percent can you get?
Dog shit, like 2%.
Oh, well, this. I mean, listen, it was 15% a few months ago. The interest rates have come down, but CD has come down as well. I mean,
Bro, I would 100% not risk anything in crypto for 7% Not in crypto. 7% is a dog shit comedy return for a lot of fucking risk.
Right, I wouldn't risk. Well.
7% is a terrible return in crypto, and to accept any risk at all for that pitiful amount of money is a joke, in my opinion.
So when you say in crypto, to me, there's a difference between Bitcoin and a dollar peg token. I mean,
a dollar peg token has extra layers of abstraction and an increased amount of computation, which makes it a larger attack surface for bugs to occur. The larger and more complicated what you're doing is, the harder and harder it is to prevent bugs. That's why Bitcoin doesn't
Look at Tether.
Yes.
I mean, it doesn't even have the reserves, and it still holds its. I mean, you couldn't have a worse dollar peg token than Tether, and the thing has no problems. I mean,
the appeal to other things sucking more is not the best argument for a thing. But yeah, I can't disagree.
Well, I'm just saying. So if something that sucks is working, something that doesn't suck, I am more optimistic about.
Hey. I hope all of the DeFi shit works wonderfully.
Ethereum, if no one's even attacking Ethereum Classic.
Dude, they 51% attacked it, but then the hacker gave the money back anyway. It was hilarious. I feel that I hope that DeFi works wonderfully, and I hope that they DeFi layer 2 the living shit on top of HEX, because HEX will be one of those underlying things. You talk about multi-collateral DAI, cool. Now you can collateralize for DAI fucking HEX tokens, great. I hope DeFi does fabulously, because I will make a lot more money if it does.
Yeah,
I just feel
DeFi products, really.
Right. Correct. I feel I like telling people the truth, and I think that there is a shitload of risk in contracts and a shitload of risk in counterparties that is the reason that crypto was invented. And we have seen lots of people lose hundreds of millions of dollars to smart contracts.
All this risk.
Okay, let's talk about the people who lost money.
Why would you be the only one who could figure this out?
Because I paid more. I paid more to better auditors and waited longer to do it. And that's it. That's the only difference.
Who are the let me find this article here.
I don't want to pick on a particular project that I've done limited research into. I want to speak in generalities because it applies to the majority of projects. If you found an outlier, congratulations.
Well, no,
I can tell you that the DAO that lost $100 million or $80 million or whatever the fuck was one of the first instances of a contract getting destroyed. I can tell you that Polkadot losing 120 million or however many millions they lost was an example of how much you could lose in another smart contract. I can tell you that the parity multisig hack, where everyone that used the parity multisig implementation got all their fucking funds destroyed, literally destroyed, you can't ever access them anymore.
Okay, hold on. Let me tell you. So first of all, I don't like going by I don't do that. I feel that successes are sort of, one in whatever 100,000.
I'm not talking about success. I'm talking about security
and find
failures.
the ones that are successes, not just the random. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of stuff sucks, but my point is that something is good. So this article here talks about Compound had an Open Zeppelin audit report, Trail of Bits audit report, and Certora audit report.
Yeah, I think Trail of Bits does fantastic work, and their shit is probably legit. Now, when you get a Trail of Bits audit, they rate it in man weeks. And so you could kind of look and see how many man weeks was put on it. More is better. So sure, maybe their shit works. Cool. It also includes humans in it, right? Well, crypto is made to get rid of the humans, man.
The thing here, so I don't know, but
Look, I'm not an expert on these things. I am an expert on a lot of things. I am not an expert on which fucking hyper abstraction. We're going to over collateralize, and then if our collateral runs low, we're going to liquidate, and then the liquidations can only move by this amount of price, and everything's going to work. Look, finance has done that shit numerous times, and it has blown up very often. And much smarter, much more well-funded people with much less attack surface have had their cool inventions fucking explode.
You're talking on crypto?
I'm talking on normal commerce. I'm talking about credit default swaps.
Yeah, but it's different.
Okay? Credit default swaps was a great fucking idea. Credit default swaps is a great idea with over collateralization, and then it fucking failed because it wasn't over collateralization, right? It turns out that the collateral wasn't enough to cover the loans. You could have the exact same type of failure in any of these fucking systems.
Well, but MakerDAO, when MakerDAO came out, I said, "Oh, okay, but is it going to work? I don't know." And then Ethereum crashed.
No, but you're making
so then I said, "Okay, it works."
You're making an assumption about a binary works or doesn't work world, when I'm trying to add nuance and let you know that there's probabilism and there's Bayes theory, which indicates that yes, something might work now, but it might not work later. How much evidence do we have in general of things of this type failing? Why do we believe that this is going to be the outlier and that it won't fail in that way? How much are we willing to receive as a payment to accept that risk? I'm telling you that there is a shitload of risk in DeFi. Vitalik told it to you himself. If you don't believe Vitalik about Ethereum, you're probably not going to believe me about Ethereum.
Article, you're referring to the one where he said, "Why is it 7%?" So it must be based on the risk. Like, why is that 7% and Bank of America is 0%? You not that article?
Not that one. A different one. So I think it was a tweet. I think it was an interview and then a tweet. The point is, if the hundreds of millions of dollars of money that has been lost in smart contracts doesn't give you pause and make you want a very large return to accept that risk, I don't know what to tell you. You're not a security expert.
There you go.
Like,
there's
hundreds of millions of dollars that have been lost in smart contracts. I believe that my contract's secure as fuck because I got the auditors to approve it. They've got a similar level of auditors. maybe they should have a similar level of confidence, right? Maybe their shit isn't as magically. So here's the other problem, right? Their game theory makes a lot of assumptions about how much of a thing is enough, like over collateralization, right? All of those stable tokens revolve around this idea that if something goes down in value, we'll take some of that over collateralization to make up for it. But if that number's wrong, even if the system is programmed perfectly and has no security flaws, that economics flaw is not accounted for by that. HEX doesn't have economics flaws. We don't use over collateralization. We don't reference or peg to anything else. We cannot fail in that way. So this extra attack surface that exists in those systems due to externalities and trying to measure something outside their system, like the actual real world value of a fucking dollar, right? That's very, very, very hard to do. And it can fail. And it has failed in other industries. And I'm just telling you, for 7%, I wouldn't take any risk at all. That's not enough. I don't care if they had good audits. 7% is not enough for me to take that risk.
All right, listen, we all